Welcome everybody to the F1 Push Lap. I'm Jermaine, everything F1. Race week, Saudi Arabia. After a incredible Bahrain weekend, Oscar takes the pole and the win from pole. Crazy weekend for Oscar. Showed his pace. He dominated the weekend really. Showed that he's taken that step. I'm a big believer that Oscar's going to win the World Championship this year. I'm going to come out and say it. I wasn't too sure at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to come out and say Oscar's going to win it. Let's see if it holds true through the end of the year. He's shown that we already know he's quick. He has grit, but that consistent quali pace, it looks like it's here this year, but who knows? It's really early after the TD in Spain. After that technical directive, we'll see how McLaren shapes up. Let's see where the car sits after that. George, what can we say? George coming in second, Lando coming in third. George has been ultra consistent this year. Can't really fault Mercedes for anything really. At this point, they've just shown up to the party, given the drivers something to work with, and they look like they're extracting the most they can from this car. Kimi had an unfortunate race at the Bahrain. Just the safety car caught him out, but other than that, Kimi put on a show really. But really, I'm impressed with Mercedes and where they're at, and their trajectory looks pretty good. And if everything is trending that direction come 2026 with the new regs, and this rumor that they have the best motor going into the 2026 regulations, this is gonna get real spicy and real interesting. So stay tuned, watch this space here. Ollie Behrman's probably my driver of the day. From P20 to P10, come on, go get it, Ollie. The teenager showed some pace, showed some grit, showed some racecraft. It was just really fun to see this youngster do his thing in a car that seemingly wasn't supposed to be there. So good for Ollie. Lots of news coming out of Red Bull. Max. Wow, I don't know what to say. Apparently, and I'm a big believer of Ted Kravitz. I watch his Notebook, and I watched the Notebook. I was watching it when he said what he said about Raymond Vermeulen, Max's manager, tearing a strip off of Helmut Marko, Dr. Marko, and Marko seemingly just taking it. So I believe the words of Ted Kravitz. He's one of the better ones in this game. So there's been murmuring that, maybe it wasn't quite as Ted was describing, but I'll take Ted's word on that because Red Bull's in a really, really treacherous place. If Max leaves, which everybody's talking about, which everybody knows that he has a performance clause, if it's engaged at the summer break, which rumors have come out today that it may be engaged at the summer break, where's Max going to go? There isn't a seat at Mercedes. I know people like to think that Toto would just drop Russell for Max. I'm not sure that's the case. I'm not sure that he wants all that Verstappen comes with at Mercedes with a young Kimi Antonelli. Max brings his own aura, if I could say. It's just the fact that he's so big. A lot comes with that. Max isn't going to get the same treatment that he's been getting at Red Bull. He's not going to get that at Mercedes for sure. They're seemingly down the middle, and I don't think that will change with Max being present. So, would he leave to go to Red Bull to go to Mercedes? Probably. If they have a better car, he'd leave. Would they drop Russell for all that comes with? I'm not too sure. Russell's showing that he can stand there and be in the mix if you give him a car. And right now, both of them have a shot next year. And if you guys think that Kimi doesn't have a shot, I would probably say take a hard look. I think Kimi is probably one of those kids that he's special, and if somebody's going to do it, one of the youngsters, if you give him a good car, I think it's going to be Antonelli. And I think with that, how are you going to say Russell's going to, with what we've seen so far, next year with the dominant car, with a dominant motor, new regs, Mercedes going in with Verstappen on the table, Kimi being a generational talent like a Verstappen, where does that leave Russell? Really? But I'm not sure that he's on the chopping block, because Russell can bring this. Russell can bring it. We're going to see if he's consistent throughout this year, and I think that's where it lies. That's why he hasn't signed a new contract. Rumor has it right now that Toto Wolff is eagerly awaiting to have George sign. So we'll see. I'm not too convinced that it's all said and done. If Max is free, he's at Mercedes. I think that Aston Martin partnership might come into play. I don't think they'll be as strong as Mercedes. I don't think that Honda engine is quite as far along in development as the Mercedes engine. I also don't think that whole team is quite where it needs to be. Even with Adrian Newey there, I don't think they're quite ready to compete for a world championship. So really, Mercedes seemingly has all the keys to all the cards at this point. So yeah, let's see where this takes George, where this takes Kimi. I know Kimi's not going anywhere. We can all agree on that. Kimi's not going anywhere. They've invested way too much in Kimi. But right now, this is the most exciting time, because George is fast, and there's no two ways about it. If George gets a win on the board, or a couple wins on the board, and he's in that championship fight, are you if you're Toto Wolff, are you willing to disrupt that to pull in Verstappen and then potentially have all what that brings to the table? Because Team Verstappen is not just Verstappen. So, I'm real curious just to see how this plays out. I've been like I've said before, I believe that George and Max are the two that are going to take points off of each other, because their teammates aren't really going to compete with them at the same level. So I believe it's going to be George and Max that are going to take points off of each other. This past weekend, Max was nowhere to be found. The Red Bull was nowhere, and it seems like it's gonna be a long season for Red Bull. If that's the case, where we can say, hey, when you're looking at the driver standings and you look at Max's at 69 points and Lando's at 77 points, they're 8 points apart. Well, it doesn't seem like a lot, but yeah, it's probably going to balloon over the next few rounds, just because if that car is not there for Max to maximize, the car is good enough in the McLaren's hands, in the drivers of the McLaren, that they're going to be at the front seemingly every weekend. So that car is good everywhere. We're going to find out exactly how fast that car is this weekend, because Saudi Arabia is going to surely give us a sense of how that car is really on a high-speed circuit. So, yeah, Ferrari has a lot to deal with. Ferrari is going to have loads to work out before the Saudi Grand Prix. They're in disarray at this point. Charles is going one direction. Seemingly, we're not sure which direction Lewis is going. Lewis is not sure which direction he's going. But hey, like I said before, after the Spanish Grand Prix, after the TD, we'll take a look at Ferrari and where they really are, because I do believe that's going to play a role in Ferrari's progress this year, in their development. All the data and everything else that people are speaking on, it's great. It's real world performance that wins races and championships. So let's just see after this TD where Red Bull falls, where Ferrari's going to fall, because this weekend, it's going to say a lot. This high-speed circuit of Saudi, which is one of my favorite circuits, it's going to say a lot. It's going to give us a lot of answers in who's there, and this is a good chunk of the season to kind of give us an idea of where everybody is. So happy race week, everybody. Like and subscribe if you're down with the channel. The F1 Push Lap is just here to provide all that good stuff for you. So until next time, you will see me soon. We'll have some interesting content coming up. Some sim content on F1 25, the new game coming out. So it'll be my first go. So maybe you guys can tune in and check out that. Cheers to that. See you next time.